You're listening to The Mountain Spirit, a podcast of Christian Appalachian Project, where we share inspirational stories of faith, service, and compassion. I'm a firm believer that we're all connected by our shared humanity and that finding that intersection sometimes just means having a conversation. Today we get to hear from Aaron Thoms. Aaron is our manager of Operation Sharing in our Paintsville program for CAP. And Aaron is going to talk to us all about Operation Sharing today, and we're super excited to have him on the show today. So if you're not familiar, Operation Sharing is one of our programs with Christian Appalachian Project. They partner with 1,500 nonprofit organizations, community-based agencies, churches, and schools across all 13 Appalachian states, as well as Arkansas and Missouri. They collect and deliver donated goods throughout Appalachia. In nearly 40 years, Operation Sharing has delivered more than $2.5 billion worth of donated materials to nearly 2 million people. Aaron, we're so glad to have you on the show today. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much, Tina, for the invite. Thank you for the opportunity just to talk a little bit more about Operation Sharing's program and how we fit in with CAB. And we want to be able to do the best that we can for the people of Appalachia.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey, Aaron? How did you come to CAB or come to Op Sharing? How long have you been there? What all have you done? Tell us, spill the tea, as they would say.
Okay. So I've been with Operation Sharing for 10 years. That is my whole entire career at CAP. It's a little over 10 years. I started with Operation Sharing inside the warehouse, and then I decided I wanted to get my CDLs, and I drove truck for Operation Sharing for a couple years, and I've been the manager of the program for over 5 years now. So that's kind of my CAP experience is only Operation Sharing, but I know CAP does many wonderful things and has many programs and many components, but I just have this heartfelt desire to continue working in Operation Sharing because we can reach so many people, even though it may be indirectly, but we got so many community partners that are out there in the field at the communities that need it, at where the people need it the most, and that's why I love Operation Sharing.
So could you tell us a little bit about how Operation Sharing got started? We know that CAP just celebrated our 60-year anniversary. Op Sharing has almost been around for about 40 years, but you had humble beginnings. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Long story short is one of our directors got a phone call and said, "Hey, what do you guys think about children's books?" And he probably thought about it there for a minute. He said, "Yeah, sure. We could use some children's books." And then lo and behold, it was 29 truckloads. Well, we didn't have no warehouses or no space for anything like that. At that time we had home repair services, we had our camps and stuff, but we had no place to do any type of logistics or semis or any warehouse storage, or we didn't really have any community partners. But he said, "Sure, we'll take them." So I think they found an old barn over in Pulaski County, and they wound up getting 29 truckloads of children's books in that old barn in Pulaski County. I believe that was in 1986. And after some probably tremendous amount of phone calls and some legwork, they got a hold of a lot of school systems and a lot of daycares, centers, or a lot of preschools and head starts, and they were able to give all 29 of those truckloads out. That's how Operation Sharing began, with children's books. It's anything and everything now. So, we're not limited to children's books. We still get them as of today, but we do anything now.
So tell us, for people who may not be familiar with gift in kind, what that means. How do you get it? How do you distribute it? So pull back the curtain here and help us step into your world a little bit to understand the process.
A gift in kind is basically in kind donations, and that is non monetary donations. And it can range from food, from drinks, from hygiene items to healthcare items to building supplies to any type of humanitarian needs. It can have disaster relief items. It can be anything really that's useful that's being manufactured or that maybe retail stores have extra of, or they just want to make it and donate it. It could be toys. I know we'll talk about toys a little later on. So really, it's a wide variety. I don't know if in the in-kind program can be limited to any such type of products due to the fact that if it's useful and it can help people, it's part of our operations. So how that works is we have larger donors. We want to thank our donors such as Good 360, Feed the Children, World Vision, Toys for Tots, One More Child, Feed the Hungry. All those donors reach out to us and they offer us free donations, which we either go pick up from their sites or we pick up from the actual manufacturer or the shipper.
Gotcha. So in a typical day, we say that Operation Sharing has 1,500 partner agencies, and those are maybe smaller nonprofits, might be a church, might be a school system. What does a typical day look like at Operation Sharing when recipient partners are picking up products from the warehouse?
So a typical day would serve anywhere between 50 to 65 to 70 of those nonprofits daily. We kind of have like a scheduling appointment system that would remind you of a doctor's office. So we schedule them on 20-minute appointments and they pull in and we have a variety of items that we have available. We try to have a minimum of 8 to 10 different items. You know, it is a donated area, so we can't always say that, but we try to have food, we try to have drinks, we try to have clothing, we try to have some other useful type of item, CVS supplies or something like that, or maybe even a building material supplies, or it could be that we got a lot of toys, so we might have a pallet of toys. And so those organizations, they come in and we allow them to have like 5 or 10 cases of that, so they can take it back to that community and distribute it. While we're doing that, we also have some larger partners that are capable of distributing pallet pickups, and so that's going on as well. So it's between 50 and 75 organizations a day that both warehouses serve every day.
Every day, all day for the whole year?
Yeah, we do it all year round. So nonstop. It's a continuous flow. We do take a break at the very end of August, our physical year. We clean our warehouses out to make sure that we don't have any product that's not being moved or product that has not been out to the community. So we just clear out and then we re-sign everybody up to make sure that the organization is being accountable. A lot of times organizations don't change, but people do. So we got to make sure that the right people are on them contracts, and then we start right back again. So other than just a little bit of a time frame where there's some downtime, it's all day long, every day.
And so for recipient partners, so for these smaller nonprofits or church groups, what does that look like on their end? So they come and pick up products, like you said, might be clothing, maybe food. They pick those items up. What does the distribution look like on the recipient partner side?
So for the recipient partner, we in our contracts, we freely give it to them. We charge no admin fees. We charge no any type of fees whatsoever. They can sign up with us and not give us a dollar. Yes, of course, we'll take a donation if they'd like, but that's not why we're here. We're not here to get a financial gain for that. We're trying to help them. And so they have the opportunity to utilize that product inside of their organization because they could be a really small church. They could be a community agency that's really tight on funding. They could be a family resource center that doesn't have the budget to buy clothing that the kids need. And if we can provide that to them, we are offsetting their costs. They can still help people. And so they can utilize it that way. And as their nonprofit to utilize it, maybe we have some office furniture. They can, update that. Either they do that or they do like a community distribution that's open to everyone. So there's no stipulations. There's no special requirements. There's no way that you can win it or this person gets drawn over that. It has to have absolutely no stipulations to a community distribution. Doesn't matter who you are, what you are, where you come from. Doesn't matter your background. Doesn't matter any of that. Community distributions is completely neutral and across the board.
So anybody can, if you have a need, you can show up in the line, and we've seen community distributions where cars are lined up for hours for food, for clothing, for toys, and so it is amazing to see. It's also heartbreaking to see because for every car in that line, that is a family that is in need. And so I know I've been on some distributions with you and just seeing literally four semi tractor trailer loads emptied and still have people in line. Just so much need, and we're so grateful for what you all do with partners in making sure that these smaller communities have what they need at no extra charge. So I know that we've done a lot of distributions lately with Marine Toys for Tots, and this summer got a chance to do. I think this was the third summer of doing toy distributions. So can you talk a little bit about the toy distributions over the summer, and then just yesterday got to do a big distribution in Lee County in East Kentucky. And can you tell us a little bit about the 2.8 million toys that you and your compatriot Ben Reiner have been working to distribute to all children in Appalachia?
Okay, yeah. So first, I'll start with our summer distributions. That kind of started in 2020, because everybody was kind of shut in. COVID was rampant, and Toys for Tots put out an initiative to unplug and go out and play. So they partner with Good 360, which is a well known and a good partner of ours, and so they contacted us. At that time, a lot of school systems were going around in buses and providing meals at that time through COVID. So, they said, "Well, how can you get these toys to these kids?" And so we partner with a lot of them that way. We didn't really do a distribution, but getting on closer into what happened this year is. The same thing because that was such a hit in 2020 and then 21 and 22, how we've done them year after year. We said, well, let's try to broaden our outlook on these tour distributions. So we went out of the state because we have been localized in the state of Kentucky. So we went out of the state. We did do three locations in the state. We done Monroe County, Bell County, and Breathitt County this year. But we also done St. Albans, West Virginia, which is in Kanawha County, West Virginia, and then we done Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Really, with those, I mean, they're just amazing events. Like you said, we can bring four tractor and trailers, and our event timing is usually from 9 to 2 or 10 to 2 or something like that. And so we bring the toys, and then we also bring the product as well that we have that's extra. It could be drinks and food a lot of times that we bring at those distributions. And so we see cars lined up for miles and miles, and typically within 4 hours or so, a whole complete semi truck is a lot of product. Well, all four of them that we usually take to each site is all gone. We have nothing left. And there's still people online. And that's the sad part about it. But the exciting part about it is kids are always so joyful. They just remind you of what it's like to have such gratitude. And a lot of the family members are just so gracious because things are tough. Even this year, inflation feel like it's hurt everybody's wallet. $20 bill doesn't go as far as it used to. And so, I mean, we saw a lot of parents, we saw a lot of families with tears in their eyes. We were helping them maybe with their grocery bill. I think we provided them on an average around 300 and some dollars worth of stuff, 350 worth of stuff through our summer distribution. So that turned out to be a big hit. We managed to serve about 12,000 children and then five events and around about 5,500 families in total. So they were fabulous. Now, if we lead up into to what happened yesterday, is that was one event that we had scheduled to partner with the school system to actually just participate in. And by that, I mean, we just wanted to do it with them, right? So what happened is Toys for Tots had gave us a substantial donation of toys, and they said, hey, there's not required to give them away this summer. You can work with them in the winter. You guys do a great job. feel free to get them out in the community. And so, long story short, we decided to hit almost 60 counties in Kentucky. 54 of them are Appalachian counties that are considered Appalachia. And so we made sure that we got toys for every elementary age child, and then some toys for younger children too. And then, not only did we do that, we done some surrounding states. We done Ohio. We got into 4 or 5 counties there. West Virginia, I think we got into about 8 counties. In Virginia, I think we were at 4 counties. And last that I know of, we did about 20 counties in Tennessee. And I know that with Hurricane Helene, we've been really focusing a lot of our effort there due to the disaster. And it is getting colder and, of course, getting close to Christmas. We were able to supply 8 counties with toys for there. It's a lot of coordination, a lot of partnerships. We couldn't do it without our partners. We couldn't do it without our donors, and we sure couldn't do it without our staff. But yesterday, we got connections with the North Pole, and we called Santa, and he come on down, and he was there with us, and we were able to give him hot chocolate and cookies, and we started with the preschoolers that were just so excited, and the kindergartners come right on in, and just before you know it, you've seen hundreds and hundreds of kids. Just overwhelmed with joy, and we don't know every situation, but some of those kids may be the best part of Christmas. We just didn't give them one toy, we gave them multiple toys. And so, I mean, that's what we're there for. We just done it for the kids yesterday, so it's great. And the really good part about that, even though we got to participate in one of those in some style, form, or fashion, that is happening in almost 100 and some other counties and around localized states. That's happening. So, toys are being given to these kids, and so in some form or fashion, that's happening really a lot of places. So.
So you mentioned that your team was there yesterday. I know you all sometimes are behind the scenes because you do the distributions uh, at the actual warehouse location where recipient partners come to you. But yesterday and over the summer, your staff and Ben's staff get to come out and be the ones seeing the family, then interacting with the families. So, what does it mean to you to see your staff get to have those interactions?
It just tickles me to death. CAP has a variety of different programs. For example, a lot of people they want to come help. That don't live in Eastern Kentucky or that are not in Appalachia. They want to come help. And so one opportunity is we have like a volunteer program where they can go out and help and fix somebody's ramp or fix somebody's home or their roof. Well, a lot of times volunteers don't want to come and work in a warehouse, and see this product coming in from a truck and going out in a truck. And so that's what my staff does all the time. My team is inside of a warehouse, and we hear wonderful stories from our partners, but our partners are telling us. So, in one sense, you can think that we are not direct human services or direct to the participant because we have to work through partners. Our partners are been vetted and they're accountable to us. They're nonprofits, but our partners come back and tell us these stories. So, our staff and our teams don't get to see the actual very end result a lot of times. And so when we do these community events and we get them outside of the 4 walls, that just reignites the fire in them to do what they do. They, if they didn't have the heart, they wouldn't be at CAP anyways. But just seeing them be able to participate in that moment is something that money can't buy. I mean, you can't get that anywhere else. That's really what it's about to us, and we are just so grateful for the opportunity to do that. And so it's just amazing. I just heard wonderful feedback from my teams, and we wish we could do it all the time, but we do have to. keep the trucks coming in. We got to keep our warehouses full and work through our partners. But that's a bigger component that continues to rise up in operation sharing. And I would say that as you see it go on in more time, that will be a continuous thing that we will do. That years ago we really didn't do that much, and we will always begin to do community distribution somehow, some way, somehow throughout the years now.
So I know we talk a lot about the teams and what it looks like day to day, the operation. But the director there is Jeff Burchett, and he has a lot of longevity with CAP. Can you talk a little bit about his leadership and how he's put his stamp on operation sharing and sort of the vision of the program?
So Jeff is basically managed and organized and built this whole program, not alone, but he has led and saw the big picture along the way for very many years. He really allows us to share ideas that will help, and he's not biased by any of those. He's always open to so many things that we have never done. Sometimes we, like doing anything, sometimes we may have to back up and punt and try again. But if it's something that we're going to try to do to help more people or expand our reach, or reach out to new community partners or find out new donors or get new acquisition, his leadership style is absolutely 100%. I would call him a very good man of integrity, and I would tell you that he's my personal mentor. He is. Jeff is maybe not out front as a showman versus some personalities, maybe as myself, that might talk as much, but he leads with such elegance and such grace, and he has such humility that he just resonates, and he makes me look at his example, and that I could hopefully be half the man that he has been for so many people for so many years.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Your generosity has a direct and positive impact in the lives of people in need in Appalachia every day. It is the unwavering support of faithful friends like you that make this work possible. Many of our supporters are beginning to plan and envision what kind of legacy they want to leave to support the causes that are near and dear to their hearts. CAP is happy to provide a safe and easy experience for people to create a will and support CAP through non-cash gifts. Through our partnership with Free Will, CAP offers our donors the ability to create a will online and alter it at no charge. Our partnership with Free Will also includes their Smart Giving Suite, which allows donors to give through their IRA, donor advised funds, and stock online, in addition to creating a will for free. In recent years, Appalachia has faced unrelenting challenges, including the pandemic, inflation, and back-to-back natural disasters. You can make a life-changing impact and leave a legacy of hope in Appalachia. To learn more about non-cash giving opportunities, please visit christianapp.org/more ways to give.
So you also mentioned Hurricane Helene and the work that Operation Sharing is doing to meet the needs of those families. So I know that a lot of times when CAP decides to respond to a disaster, Operation Sharing is the first to respond in terms of our programs before we normally have boots on the ground. And then Operation Sharing is there long after we have finished, cleaning out houses, sometimes repairing homes when it was in our local area. But Operation Sharing, a year later, 2 years later, is still helping families. And so I wonder if you could talk about the role of Operation Sharing as it relates to disaster relief. What is it that you all first do and take down, and then what the people need when a disaster first happens, and then what is it that over the 6 months, 12 months, 18 months that you all continue to provide as communities still have a need?
There sometimes is a lot of logistics going on, and sometimes we could say it's organized chaos. But we are trying to refine that process, daily. I'll just speak of the 22 floods first, before Hurricane Helene.
Mhm.
So, that happened in our area. And so, we have a disaster relief program at CAP, and what they really do is they serve and they're boots on the ground, and they do the muck and gut. They clean out the homes and they cut out the drywall and they get them ready to be repaired. And then, if they're able, they'll do the recovery process, rebuilding, putting in the new drywall, fixing what needs to fix. But the GIK part, the operation sharing part, is the in-kind donations begin to come and begin to getting calls. You may have a small family that wants to donate something. You may have a local business that wants to donate something. And you also may have large corporations, and then you also have our large donors that say, hey, we know that you're working in disaster relief. So basically, in Operation Sharing, we take all that work away from the disaster relief team, and we let them do what they do best, and we do what we do best. So we handle a lot of the logistics part of it. We start receiving the inbound truckloads, and then we start working with our community partners, and we find out where the distribution hubs are, what's active, what's open for the public. And there are different products that are needed at different times. Initially, in the very beginning, food, water, hygiene items, paper products, that is needed instantly. So we understand that. And then it gets a little bit further on, and sometimes cleaning items, tools to get to cleaning, tools to cut some of the bad parts of the homes out. And then later on, you get the rebuilding process where they need more of the building supplies. They need more of the carpets, the flooring, the tile, and this and that. So that's how that works. That's what we done in the 22 flooding. Speaking directly about the Hurricane Helene, what we do is, we take all inbound calls of GIK or in-kind donations, and we start coordinating them. And so what happened this particular time is a lot of people in Kentucky, they wanted to donate. They wanted to give back because they had went through that. And so we set up multiple sites that we partnered with that would take donated products from an individual, and they would store it up for us until, they gave us a call and said, hey, we got this many pallets for you, or we got this many, whatever. And then we would go pick that up. So we organized all the in-kind donations that happened in Kentucky. Then we still got the donors that called us up, said, hey, we know that's your area too. Maybe it's not your direct area that you're right in living in, but we know you serve that area, Operation Sharing. So, hey, how can we help you? Can we send you some type of donation loads? And so, we try to ask them, what are they sending? If they're sending non-perishable food, yeah, come on, send it. If they are sending us drinks and water, yeah, send it, because right now we need it. And then what we have to do is, because it is a little bit further away from us, we have to vet and find the distribution centers that are there. So we do a lot of legwork with VOED, that's volunteer organizations that are working together. And so we're on the calls like that in Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina. And then we start getting some leads. And then sometimes we just drive down there and observe a couple places. So long after the TV stations are gone, long after the news is not covering it as heavily, we'll still be working in there, because in the Eastern Kentucky floods that happened in July of 2022, I sent a load of carpet to them a month ago, because there's still people in need here. North Carolina and the Eastern Tennessee and Virginia areas, they're just extended family to us. That's how we look at it. And so we're going to try our best to help them, and we're in it for the long haul.
When I see those trucks roll in when we deliver hope, it just melts my heart, because that's what you all do. You bring hope to people in desperate situations, and knowing that people are not forgotten, that they are seen. I love that when you said they're just extended family. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt somewhere, Aaron, with Cap, because that is great. That's how we see it, that when we say that Operation Sharing is serving in all 13 Appalachian states, that you all have partner agencies and you're working across state lines. You just meet people where they are and love on them and get them what they need. And you mentioned the carpet. That was through Rupp Arena. So those who know Big Blue Nation and all the things, and just thinking about, like, most of us wouldn't think how an organization like that could have something that would be able to be that they could donate, but you all find those partners and get those items to good use. I know you have a big furniture pickup that's coming near Opryland. I was just like, oh, this is so cool. Those kind of, really nice furniture that are able to go into people's homes if they're recovering from a flood or tornado or whatever. And so you all do great work.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not talking about junk. We're talking about good stuff, very good stuff. When it gets to somebody that doesn't have it, when they get to somebody that lost it, when it gets to somebody that needs it way more than I would ever need it, that's the point. That's the moment. That's the connection that hopefully they remember Christian Appalachian Project and they remember Operation Sharing, that we try to live out our mission statements. You know what I mean? That we try to build hope, and we try to transform lives, and we try to share Christ's love and service in Appalachia. I think that's the connection. That's what we're trying to do with all these people, is make that connection. Not to say it's CAP or Operation Sharing, but just make that connection with them that, we're there for them.
There you go. So I know I got a chance to chat with Santa Claus, and Santa told me that one of the stories he heard yesterday is kids were sitting and saying what they wanted for Christmas. He said two of the hardest ones was two kids sat and said, what I want for Christmas is for my mom and dad to get back together. And he talked about how that just pulled on his heartstrings, and he was trying to find the words to say to those kiddos. And I wonder if you have a story of a recipient partner or a story that has stuck with you that have come out of Operation Sharing, of things that people have either been able to pick up or experiences people have had with your team.
Oh, Tina, there's so many. Just maybe like one particular one, when families are displaced, maybe they've had a fire and they lose everything. They just feel like they're hopeless. They have no hope. There's a lot of agencies that can help them in different ways, but when they connect up with us, we sometimes we feel like we are their last hope. We're the last chain in the hope chain. And that's how what we branded our trucks as, and you helped us brand that. We deliver hope. Is we try to help and give hope to the hopeless. And we hear those stories all the time, Tina, just about so many people that are just hurting and needs. And, you speaking about those two little children, that just touches my heartstrings right now. But, the fact of the matter is, a lot of times grandparents are raising grandchildren. A lot of times there's drug problems or addiction problems. That's not the child's fault, but that's the reason why we went to the schools, is to try to bring them a little bit more joy. If you want to get real, that's just the world we live in, that at times are tough, and there's situations that we can't control. But we're going to love on everybody and anybody that we can.
I remember talking to a lady that came through the line this summer, and that was in July. She said she was going to have to save those toys because she didn't know how she would be able to give her children Christmas. And so she was going to put those toys away that she got this summer and save them so she would have something to put under the tree for Christmas. And I know that you do food distributions and clothing and shoes, books, so many, probably anything and everything that people can think of. What is one of the strangest things or interesting things that have ever come through Operation Sharing?
Years ago, we got a bull, a real bull, donated to us, and we was able to give it to a farmer.
Oh my!
We've seen we've seen firewood that would help people with fireplaces or camping or something like that. So it really it can be anything and everything, Tina.
So tell me, of all the things you're doing, you all are continuing to build hubs and reach out into other communities and a variety of things. What gives you hope when you think about the region, you think about your program and the growth of the program? What are you looking forward to?
So the growth of the program is, really to expand our impact because we are located in two main warehouses, and now we have another partner warehouse in Clay County, Kentucky, which we call a hub. And so you say, well, what's a hub, Aaron? What do those mean? That means the local community partners that are in that area don't have to drive so far to come to us. That means we're saving them a little bit even more. So if you don't have to drive an hour, they just maybe drive 15 minutes, they can drive 20 minutes. And that also means some organizations that may not know us because we are just in two set locations in Paintsville, Kentucky and Corbin, Kentucky, that everywhere in between, they can start hearing more about operation sharing and we can make a larger impact because we have the product and we can spread the product out. And the reason why we want to spread the product out more is because we know the needs there. And so we just know that if we enhance our growth and enhance our impact by through hubs, we can just reach more people, that less people are being missed out of the opportunity to maybe help their budget $200 or $300 a month with certain items that they don't have to go spend money on, or maybe they don't have no money at all. A lot of times sometimes they're without anything in these areas. And so that will be a continued focus in the next few years is to figure out locations that best suit us strategically and that will be able to get partners that are in that area a new location to go to. And so that's how we do that is we're wanting to serve more people. And we know that our community partners are in the community and they know the people that need it the most.
So Tim, so I know Clay County was just like a great example of a hub being able to expand the impact exponentially. So can you just give me a little snippet of what Clay County was doing before they got connected with us, and then how those recipient partners just expanded once that hub was opened up?
Real quick snippet backstory on that. We partnered with them because Clay County had some kind of flooding in 21. So they set up a little distribution center. They're like, hey, this is working out great. And we're like, hey, you guys are doing a great job. So they're like, can we looked into it. So can we do more here? And so we looked at our numbers and basically, shooting off top of my head, Tina, is that we had about 35 agencies from Clay County coming to our Corbin location due to the fact Clay County is closer to Knox County where Corbin is. And so we had about 30, 35 organizations picking up. Maybe we had 40 to 45 over our tenure, but some of them we had lost. So Clay County started with 30 organizations there. We kind of helped them start with a hub and give them some ideas, let them follow our practices, our protocols, follow our lead. I think they're sitting around about 200 organizations now, and that's just about 2 years difference. So what that means is even if we had 45 over our whole term, there's 150 different agencies, at least maybe not in Clay County, but around Clay County that has learned about CAP and they utilize that offset.
And I think if people have never been here and see how spread out things are, so if you're a small church in a community, the difference between driving an hour to get something and driving 15 minutes can make the difference. You're a small nonprofit, you're trying to pay overhead, you're trying to pay your staff. You might be spending a good bit of your budget just in gas, whereas now you get something local in your community.
Yeah, I can give you a real quick example on certain areas in eastern and central Kentucky. I mean, you may have to go an hour to go to a Walmart or a Kroger's. I mean, there's not. You may have a local small grocery store that might be closer, but I mean, there you may have to travel an hour to go to a big, large retail store. I mean, that's common in these areas. And it's not because of traffic. It's not due to traffic jams. It means you're driving 60 miles to go there.
Yeah, so those hubs are definitely critical. You all do amazing work. I'm always awed by you and your team and Ben, and you all just do amazing. You have such compassion for the partner agencies that you work with, as well as meeting the needs not only in Eastern Kentucky but in all the Appalachian states, Arkansas and Missouri. And thank you so much for taking the time today to help us understand a little bit more about Operation Sharing. We always end all of our shows with this question. The mission statement of Christian Appalachian Project, as you well know, is building hope, transforming lives, and sharing Christ's love through service in Appalachia. Hope, transformation, love, and service. Which one resonates with you the most when you think of Appalachia?
I'm going to go with love. That's what I'm going to go with. It's the love for people. There's a vast variety of different people here. And, sometimes if you turn on the news or the TV station, you think that there's a war against each other. But, if you get down to the nuts and bolts and you get down where the rubber meets the road, you will definitely have your faith in humanity back, because there are people that out there that care. It doesn't matter. And there's people out there willing to do whatever to try to help you. And I believe I'm going to give a shout out to our teams. Our teams are the backbone of Operation Sharing, and they love what they do. And they don't, it doesn't matter. We want to make somebody's day a little easier. We want to make some kids smile. We want to help some family member in a way that they thought they couldn't be helped. We want to be able to give them hope when they feel hopeless. And so that's what I'm going to go with, is love.
Aaron, our time has flown by. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And I hope as our listeners have found out more about Operation Sharing, if they have questions, they can always visit our website to learn more about Operation Sharing and how to become a partner, and videos and things to help them learn more. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much, Tina. Appreciate it.
Our guest today has been Aaron Thoms, manager of Christian Appalachian Project's Operation Sharing in Paintsville, Kentucky. Believe it or not, this concludes season 5 of the podcast. That time has flown by. We hope you've enjoyed the show and will tune in for season 6 starting in February. During the break, we hope you'll have a chance to check out past episodes. Tell your friends to check us out too. You can follow the work of Christian Appalachian Project on all social media channels. You can also find the podcast at wearecap.org/podcast or wherever you get your favorite podcast. If you like the show, please take a moment to leave us a review. We surely appreciate it. And be sure to subscribe so that you never miss a new episode. We hope you have a blessed time this holiday season with your family and friends. And please continue to pray for the family in Appalachia. God bless.